Wanted to post a quick review here for 2017's It Comes at Night. I saw that in the theater today, and I have to admit that I was taken by the trailer, and I was basically tricked, if you will. The trailer would lead you to believe this is a horror movie, and I don't consider it a horror movie at all. I consider it more of a psychological thriller. So the trailer is more than just a little misleading. But what you got here is director Trey Schultz. I think this is like his second feature he's done. Directed this film for about $5 million. It's probably going to make $7 million the opening weekend, U.S. The storyline is Joel Edgerton plays a father in post-apocalyptic world, kind of like the Walking Dead show without the zombies, if you want to be frank about it. He and his family have boarded themselves up in this house to protect themselves from this virus. They're not quite sure what it is, but basically it's a virus that eats people. It looks like it just kind of eats them alive, starts with their skin and eats them alive. And they're trying to survive. And they don't know who on the outside, how many people are alive, how many people are infected. So they're going around, when they do go outside, they're wearing these gas masks and things to protect themselves. But a natural state of paranoia starts to come into play with these people having kind of been, cooped up with only themselves to look at. Another family enters into the fray, and really 75 minutes of the film was just kind of this perpetual dynamic of these people kind of trapped in this house, this claustrophobic setting, waiting to be potentially who's going to be hit with the virus, essentially is what it is. You've got a kind of a scene at the start that grabs you the first 5 minutes. It's kind of a scene grabber, a key scene grabber. I'm not going to describe what that is. Then you've got 75 minutes of really not much going on, other than we're kind of creeping around this bunker-like house. And then you get a kind of the last 5 minutes, you get a little surprise ending. That's really it. So I think it kind of is a miss for me. I've read some of the critic reviews, and people are talking about this being already in early 2017 the best horror movie out. I would be disappointed if this film is going to be the horror movie for 2017. I can't tell you how disappointed I am with the output for 2017. First off, I don't consider this is not a horror movie. I think the people that are viewing this, that call this a horror movie, probably haven't seen a whole lot of horror movies. I'll accept that it's a psychological thriller, but there's no monster, there's no supernatural going on. There's a couple of jump scares, and there's the potential threat of this getting infected with this virus. But the virus, it really never explains what happens, other than I guess the people die. They don't turn into zombies or anything. It's not if there's horror in this film, and the horror is internal human, the soul horror, which I can accept that. I think it's a stretch, though, to call this a true horror film. I think it's more of a psychological thriller, along the lines of many other films that have characters that are flawed individuals, that they're horrible people, they're soulless people, and the horror of the film, if you can call it horror, would be these people's soulless character. I think that's just kind of stretching it as a definition of a horror film, but that's just me. Anyway, I didn't dislike it. I think in summary, it was an interesting watch. it's really a one watch for me. I just don't. I mean, once you've seen it, other than the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, there's just not a lot there of interest. I think Joel Edgerton did a fairly interesting job trying to convey the level of paranoia that was building up within him due to the events surrounding him. But I mean, it's just not enough to make it something I'd want to see over or buy. I mean, my recommendation to you guys would be wait for it to come on Netflix. I mean, it's not something I'd spend money on. But then I felt the same way about Don't Breathe. This is kind of Don't Breathe in a way. It's the same claustrophobic scenario. The storyline is slightly different, but it's basically taking advantage of a claustrophobic environment. Which to be fair, the film is beautifully shot. You do feel the claustrophobic nature of the scenes and settings. It's just very thin storyline. There's not much to tell you other than there's like 75 minutes that we're kind of waiting around watching these people interact and who's going to get hit with the virus unexpectedly. That's really it. There is no real payoff, in my opinion. So that's my review, and it's probably going against it's probably a little bit of a contrarian opinion regarding this film. If you look at IMDb, people are raving about it. It's getting big critical reviews and things like that. But I would say it's a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, stretching it. So that's my thoughts on It Comes at Night. And tomorrow I'm going to go see The Mummy. Not a big Tom Cruise fan, but I am going to go see that because I do like I got to support the Universal Dark Universe reboots, and I'll probably post a review about my thoughts on that film tomorrow. So thanks for watching.